But let's also move on to some other foreign policy news here. We've had a call with President Putin, between President Putin of Russia and the U.S. president. Donald Trump had this to say a little while ago.
I would say within 2 weeks or so, pretty quick. Marco Rubio is going to be meeting with his counterpart, as you know, Lavrov, and they'll be meeting pretty soon. They're going to set up a time and a place very shortly. Maybe it's already set up. They've already spoken. And I thought it was a very good phone call. I thought very productive. But I'll be meeting with President Putin, and we'll make a determination.
So he's got a meeting with Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine tomorrow. We've got a Trump-Putin meeting in a couple of weeks here. Is he trying to knock together some sort of solution to the Ukraine-Russia war here in the same way that he's done in the last several weeks between Hamas and Israel?
Oh, yeah, he wants this done, and he's said it time and again. He's solved 7 out of the 8 conflicts. He likes being the peacemaker. He likes having the world influence. And I know, like, it's been such a thing for so many years about, the neocons, they want to be world police, and it's so isolationists. Americans like being the world police when they win. They like getting it right, and they have been getting it right. And so he wants to continue that. And he gets to say that it was all started under Biden and wouldn't have happened if he was in the White House. That's, I think there is some truth to that. He's so unpredictable on a world stage. You don't know when he's going to drop a bunker buster on Iran, so you don't mess around. And I think he knows that similarly by watching what happened in Israel with Hamas, of them just being worn down, he knows that Putin's getting worn down as well. And so when he's making those jokes about, well, maybe I will give a couple of thousand tomahawks to Zelensky, you don't know if he's joking or not, and Putin doesn't know if he's joking or not. And so that's how he's wielding his influence, and he wants to bring this to an end. He's embarrassed that he said it was going to be solved on day one because he thought he had a relationship with Putin. That hasn't happened, and I think he's got a chip on his shoulder about that as well.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's amazing that a guy who learned a transactional, backed up by force negotiating style, that's worked so well in the Middle East. Who would have predicted that? But just, staying with the Middle East just for a minute, there's been the prospect now raised of American Marines potentially even going into Gaza to somehow keep the peace. You say that Americans like to be the world policeman, but did people sign up necessarily for keeping peace in Gaza when they voted for Trump here? Is there going to be a bit of blowback on that idea? Because I know there's concerns about that relationship.
Yeah, I think no Americans want to see any more Americans die in any conflict zones that aren't directly defending America. And so that would be very toxic. I think if Trump ever sends Marines into Gaza, we will never find out about it. It will be so discreet. They'll be disguised as something else, probably IDF or some kind of other Arab ally. We will never find out about it. They certainly wouldn't do it publicly. And people forget that we have had attacks on US bases during this war. And also, don't forget, one of the biggest casualty events was Biden building that $230 million pontoon that sunk after 20 days. People forget a serviceman died after the injuries he sustained in that. And it achieved nothing. It was supposed to bring all this aid into Gaza, and it didn't happen. So when you I bring that up because it shows how invested America's been in this for so long and how hard they've found this until Trump's come in and reset it. And he's used those business contacts. He knows that money talks more in the Middle East than foreign policy wonkery and like just that kind of traditional diplomacy. And so he sent in Jared Kushner, who's just pulled off the extraordinary in this.
And as you say, it is extraordinary. Jared Kushner said he could solve it because he read 25 books on the subject. And you know what? They've done a hell of a lot better than so many decades and decades of experts who thought they knew what they were doing, but clearly didn't. Annelise, Nielsen, thank you so much for your time here on the U.S. Report.